That leaves us with Uzbekistan, number 68 in FIFA's world rankings, coached by Sreko Katanic. Bro, these guys have been on tour for the past year. If you're looking for a team with results, this is the one, with wins or draws versus Iran, Mexico, Venezuela, Bolivia, Russia, Cameroon.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I just named teams that are in the CAF, UEFA, CONMEBOL, and CONCACAF region, bro. These dudes play in Asia. That's crazy, man. An absolute world tour. And the style of play, the way that they are so cohesive with one another, the way that they press teams specifically stands out to me very well, especially in the midfield. This team also has flair. If you look over at the wing positions, they remind me of like a Japan, but just a little bit more less fleshed out. I do think ultimately they will get second place in this group under Australia because of my belief in their defense. It's a little untrustworthy at times, and they can be a little leaky, but it's always a shootout when you face off against the Uzbeks. And they'll definitely score a ton of goals in this tournament, bro, and they'll definitely be one of the funnest teams to watch. But I do think they get second, and they pose the potential to do something crazy in this tournament.
Wow. No, I completely agree with pretty much everything that you just said. But if I may, dude...
Why don't you dive in a little bit more for me, yeah?
Uzbekistan are in flying form. You just listed off of the type of teams that they've played over the last 12 months, mainly winning, couple of draws. And, you know, if you hadn't seen them play, I'm sure a lot of y'all saw them play against Mexico in that crazy 3-3 draw. And we saw the full display of what an Uzbekistani, God damn it.
Yeah.
The full display of what an Uzbek offense looks like, because they went off against Mexico. But again, definitely a little leaky at the back. But my God, I mean, their only losses this year, a 1-0 loss to Iran. I think that's respectable. That makes sense. And then 3-0 to one of the best sides in the world, the USA. But my God, dude, the form that Uzbekistan are in, probably the best form of any team outside of the top six.
Yeah.
100% Uzbekistan are trying to cement themselves as being competitive with the top teams in Asia this year. And the thing is, man, I think the way that they've been playing, you kind of said it, they're kind of like a Japan, and I agree.
Yeah.
They're so defined in the way that they play. There's an emphasis on playing from the back, keeping ball possession, and then pressing when they lose it. And then, you know, you got some studs in this team. You really do. And all of that considered, I have Uzbekistan as my dark horse of the tournament.
Yeah.
The dark horse for me. Outside of the top five, I have Uzbekistan with the next best chance to lift this title.
What are your thoughts then on Shomurodov being out injured? Their captain and possibly their best player.
This is what sucks. And this is what really hurts me. I don't want to change my overall analysis of this Uzbekistan side because they are more than just one player.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this team. They're going to dearly miss Shomurodov. Let me make that very clear.
Please.
I'm fucking bummed that he's going to miss out, because having a front three of Sergeyev, Shomurodov, and then my boy Austin Uranov on the other side, that would have been so deadly. But they have players who can fill in that role. Obviously, they're not going to have the same talent or the same ability as Shomurodov, obviously. But I still do think that Uzbekistan is more of a collective team, very similar to Japan, where the whole is much greater than the individual. And I still think they'll have a very successful campaign and will make a deep run no matter what.
Yeah, I think what's beautiful about this Uzbekistan team is I can already say with a lot of assurance, I think we're going to see them at the next World Cup. Because they're doing all the proper things to be able to be considered a team of that quality at the international stage. I think going on a deep run here, even if they get to quarters, bro, I think that's a massive achievement. But I do see them with the ability to get to even the semifinals, bro, and facing off against a South Korea or a Japan, depending on how the bracket plays out. I see them as being a team that could go on like a more dark horse type run than a Cinderella run, because it's very much deserved and merited. And I want to see them be successful on this stage because they could become the next Asian power, or at least the next Asian team to watch for that plays really enjoyable football and has a really good team strategy attached to them as well.
Oh, they're so fun to watch. And it's crazy because you can make this really cool parallel when you look at the local teams in Uzbekistan. Nabahor and Nasaf have been playing elite football in the AFC Champions League, and you draw it out to the national team, and it's the same thing.
Actually correlates.
It correlates like crazy. And a lot of the talent in this Uzbekistan side from Nasaf and Navbahor. It's beautiful to see. But I agree, man. They're on a path to succeed. And I definitely see them at this next World Cup. 100% agree with that. And within this Asian Cup, I think they can make it to the semifinals. I think they have the talent to do so. The only thing is they'll need to avoid Japan or maybe Iran in, let's say, a quarterfinal. If they face those teams in the quarters, then I don't see them getting through. But if they can get just a slightly favorable draw on the knockout stage, I have Uzbekistan making a semifinal appearance because this team is that good, truly. They can be, at their best, a top 4 side in Asia. It's awesome to see. And when you look at some of their players outside of Shomurodov, you got some ballers, man. I remember Masharipov balled out against Mexico. He plays in Greece right now, an excellent attacking midfielder. Alongside him, you could pair Iskanderov, who plays for Navbahor. He's also a really good player on the ball who looks to go forward. And then I already mentioned it, but I do want to highlight him one more time. Austin Uronov, left winger for Navbahor. Outside of like the top 5 teams in Asia, he is one of the only players that can actually take on a defender one-on-one by himself. That isolation is so rare in teams that aren't in the top 5, bro. But Uzbekistan have it. And what's crazy is that he doesn't play in Europe. He doesn't play in the middle. He plays in Uzbekistan. But it just shows you the type of talent that Uzbekistan trying to grow and develop within their own country. And I think it's going to finally come to something here at this Asian Cup, man.
So we agree, Australia and Uzbekistan. Australia in first, Uzbekistan in second. We just disagree with Syria and India. We have them flipped.
I have them flipped.
All right, fair enough. That's Group B right there.